to Amusement Park Road Trip. And now your hosts, Matt and Brandon.
Hey, Brandon, how's it going? You ready for this road trip?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Wait a minute. There's somebody in the back seat. Who are you?
What?
Oh, man. Thanks for joining us today on this road trip.
What are you talking about?
It's like Blue's Clues, you know, when they talk to you and you're like, as a little kid, you're like,
Oh,
they're talking to me.
So we're taking the road trip with the listeners.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. How's the back seat? Is the temperature as what you'd expect?
Great question. I hope you enjoy our
kind
music.
of things. What do you ask for? Oh yeah. What kind of things, like you take an Uber ride? What are they? What are the things they care about?
I've only taken one Uber
Is the
ride.
back seat clean? How many fillet of fish wrappers do I have back there?
Are there any blue flavored drinks back there?
Blue flavored drinks
From The
What's
Office?
that? Oh yeah. Okay.
What's the flavor?
We're
Blue.
both quoting The Office. Blue.
I don't know what that is. Blue Blast. Oh, Blue Blast. Or whatever it is.
At any rate, we hope you're enjoying that backseat car ride. Hopefully you don't get motion sickness. And if you do get motion sickness, why the hell are you even listening to a podcast about amusement parks?
Yeah. Yeah. Give it to him.
Yeah, you suck. King of the trees. I'm the tree meister.
That's exactly what I thought of when you said you suck. Just the way you said it.
I know. I made myself remember that too.
Today, we're taking a road trip to Waldameer Park in Erie, Pennsylvania, right on Lake Erie, the shores of Lake Erie. And last week, we were at Kennywood in Pittsburgh. Erie is just pretty much directly north of Pittsburgh to the border of Pennsylvania, like I said, on Lake Erie. So I've never been there. Have you been in that area before?
Only on TV. Sorry. I just want to bring up, did you ever watch that show, Erie, Indiana?
Mm-mm.
There was a show. I'm looking at it now and I'm kind of blown away. It was kind of like a Goosebump show, but it's called Erie, Indiana. And it had one season. And I always thought Erie, Indiana had something to do with Lake Erie. So like, you know what I mean?
Is Indiana's touching Lake Erie?
Is it?
No.
That's why I'm confused. Like,
Yeah.
the existence of the show that I didn't even really watch because it was too scary. I think it's still the things from our childhood that we're told by our parents. Like, for example, keeping the light on while the car's driving. You can't do it. It's illegal.
Yep.
I tell I tell my kids that same law, you know?
Ours was no flipping the light switches like on and off because it would start a fire.
That's a good point. Oh, we should make a sketch about this. We ever have a sketch show? You know, it'd be a fun sketch. A kid finally gets their driver's license and they're like, yeah, I'm going to go drive with the lights on in the car. You know, that's the thing they've wanted their whole entire life. They finally get the chance to do it. And because they know their parents are lying to them, but then they do it and then they get pulled over. And then find out it actually is a real law. Like, we didn't cover that in driver's ed. And then anyway, it sounds better in my head.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea, but I think that's a perfect example of why we don't have a sketch show. Anyway, going back to Waldameer. Waldameer opened in 1896. I think it was like the 10th oldest park in the U.S. operating park, somewhere around that number 10. It is pretty old. Steve Gorman is currently the GM, and I believe he was the son-in-law. It was passed down to him. So it's been a family run business for a little while. It has 36 attractions.
Hopefully it's been funly run as well.
Oh, I'm sure that's in there. I was going to say, what's their slogan? I'm sure fun is in there. But yeah, hopefully it's funly run as well. They have 36 attractions, 5 roller coasters, and 1 water ride, which is a log flume. They also have a water park. I really don't care about covering water parks.
What?
Yeah.
Hot take. Why?
What interesting history. We've covered tons of places where it's like, and in
covered a
2005,
water park.
We've covered a water park.
Yeah, I put that short out of us going to that one water park.
Oh, in North Korea?
Yeah.
You're lucky you didn't get us killed with that thing.
It's not too late.
Anyway.
But I get your point. Our water parks are kind of all the same. You got some water, you got some tubes, and you call it a park. I mean, I guess the Disney and Universal ones in Florida do a little bit better of a job, but I get it. I get it. Fair. But Matt, we gotta cover them for the people. The people care about their water parks.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not in
Fair.
a podcast form. Besides Universal and Disney, are there vloggers that go to water parks?
Oh, I think we just found an untapped market.
No, because you're a pervert. Not only are you recording little kids.
You're a pervert. What? You don't have to record the little kids. If you just keep the camera, I mean, you're taller than the kids.
On
so
the-
just keep
on the teenagers in front of you in their swimsuits and their bikinis. There's no way around it. You just you should not record at a water park.
Okay, I guess that's fair.
It's
So
like this,
a podcast is actually the perfect place to talk about a water park because there will be no recording. We can just talk about the teenagers. Just kidding.
I'm not going to talk about the teenagers. All right, let's jump into the history here.
Let's plunge right in.
So originally this was Hoffman's Grove. It's a great place to picnic on the beach of Lake Erie. And the Erie Electric Motor Company purchased the land in 1896. And they renamed it Waldameer, which means woods by the sea in German. Now, why do you think they would purchase this land, this electric motor company?
Why would they purchase this?
Mhm.
An electric motor company purchasing the land, probably to build a factory of some sort.
No.
Okay.
They wanted to
Probably
extend.
probably to extend. Yeah, probably to extend.
They wanted to extend their trolley line.
Extend their trolley line.
Yeah, to the park in hopes of boosting
The park.
weekend
Hopes of boosting weekend. Yeah, right.
ridership.
Ridership. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a trolley park.
Hey, we've covered one of those before.
And there you go. Now it's clicked. And this is actually one of 13 trolley parks still operating in the U.S.
Ooh.
So Kennywood was
So
a
we got
trolley park,
11 more to go.
and actually one that's coming up soon. We were going to record it today, but then I found out there was a book written about it. So I got that book in the mail today. I'm going to read it.
You're such a nerd.
But it's 1 in 13 trolley parks that's still operating. So if you didn't listen to the last episode or you don't know what a trolley park is, back when they had trolley lines.
Is it kind of like the trolley worms? Like, you want to bite a worm?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen those commercials? You know the trolley, like you got the worms, the gummy bears, the trolley brand, the gummies. Come on, the
Was
gummies,
this
gummy
when we were
worms.
kids?
No, they're still around. Trolleys.
Oh.
It's a trolley brand.
I think I know trolley brand, but I don't know what you're talking
Okay.
about.
There's a trolley brand. Go to YouTube, and all you have to search for is "want to bite a worm," and it's two kids in an elevator saying this to each other, and the adults in the elevator with them are freaking out because they're like, "Oh my gosh, they're biting actual worms." They don't take the time to actually turn around and see that they're just eating candy.
This
How
sounds
have you
like a
not seen
commercial from our childhood.
It is a commercial from our childhood.
Oh, but you said they're still going.
Well, like the brand is still around. All right, let's talk about trolley parks.
If you didn't listen last week or you don't know what a trolley park is, it's where a trolley line would
Leave it to me to completely derail our talk about trolley parks.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll be cutting all of that.
Get it? Derail.
Yep. I got it. If you're not familiar with what a trolley park is, it's where they'd put an amusement park at the end of a trolley line. And because workers would take the trolley during the week, and then the weekend would come and nobody'd ride the trolley, and they'd want to get some money for the trolley. And so they'd put an amusement park for people to ride. And that's the story for Kennywood and, of course, Waldameer as well. And 12 others, or 11 others, I guess. So that's
We
what a
talk
trolley
about
park
Mr.
is.
Rogers for a second.
Yes.
Did you watch Mr. Rogers as a kid?
Yes, I did.
How did you feel about the trolley in the world of make believe? Like you wanted to have that trolley in your house, didn't you?
It was pretty cool. Yeah. How it went through the walls and stuff.
Yeah, and then entered the world of make believe.
Yeah. It was really cool.
Yep, me too.
All right. So starting to jump into the real history. In the early 1900s, the trolley company expanded the park with $1,000 dance hall. It's a lot of money, $1,000.
$1,000 dance hall. Wow.
Yeah. And
It's like in Austin Powers when Dr. Evil comes back, he's like $1 million. They're like, okay, that's not a lot of money.
that's not a lot. And that's how it was, $1,000 in 1900 though. That's a lot of money. So $1,000 dance hall, a carousel. They don't say how much it was, and Hofbrau German Beer Garden. And the Hofbrau German Beer Garden had singing waiters. I wonder if they sing in German.
9.
Very nice, Brandon.
Thank you.
Also, sad to say that dance hall burned down in 1937.
Oh, no.
Oh, that $1,000 wasted after 37 years. Later in the history, Waldameer opened its first roller coaster in 1907, known as Dip the Dips. They added a second coaster in 1915 called Scenic Railway for $30,000, which is an interesting name for a roller coaster. Scenic Railway. I would think you would name a train that, but what do I know?
Or a runaway railway.
Yeah, that's not a coaster either.
Well, I mean, that one fits. It's because it's not a coaster. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we're agreeing.
Right. Yeah. We agree.
In 1922, they opened the largest roller coaster, Ravine Flyer, and we will get more into the Ravine Flyer later. There's some interesting history on that. In 1951, they added Comet roller coaster, which is still there today. It's actually a really small wooden roller coaster that's just a bunch of dips, but it looks like it's a lot of fun. That's all we're going to say about it. We're not talking about it when we walk through the park, so I had to throw that in there. In 1970, Waldameer added Bill Tracy's Wacky Shack Dark Ride, which is always exciting. It seems all the parks we cover, not all, but a lot of them have ties to Bill Tracy. He is the king of dark rides. And 2 years later, they added a Bill Tracy walkthrough attraction, Pirates Cove. So they've got 2 Bill Tracy attractions, both still there today, celebrating their, got to do math, 54th anniversary and 52nd anniversary.
Their centennial anniversaries.
Oh, dang it. None of those are in this episode. We're breaking the streak. Dang it.
Samsonite, I was way off.
Here's the last piece of history. In 2008, Ravine Flyer 2 opened, and we'll get more into that of why there is a Ravine Flyer 2 and what happened in 1, which we'll get into right now. Usually right now we have fun facts. Right now we have fun facts, but there's only one fun fact, which is it's a free admission park. So you don't pay to get in the park. I love these. Yeah, you pay to ride the rides. That's our fun fact. Could you
imagine, in all honesty, our local park should be a free entrance park. That's kind of how it was. It's got the bones to do that, you know? And when I was a kid, you could go in and not ride rides. Or I went in one time, they did like a family deal. You could go in and ride like the carousel, the faster music carousel. What do we call those again? The Music Express?
Yeah, Music Express.
Yeah, you could ride those 2 rides and ride one other one. Like, our park is a pretty good park. It's got some good, beautiful areas, some good places to eat and kind of picnic. So it should be a free entrance park. Just saying. Just saying.
I like that idea, but I think it's probably too popular. And at that point, it becomes a capacity issue.
Yeah, probably.
But like I said, instead of fun facts, we're going to cover incidences.
Oh boy.
So here we go. The first incident. On August 8th, 1938, the Ravine Flyer didn't make it up the hill following the bridge after crossing Peninsula Drive due to a locking wheel. This wheel locks up and it doesn't make it up the hill. And so it rolls back and is just kind of rolling back and forth, back and forth. And
it was the little wheel that couldn't.
Exactly. That's what they named it, actually.
No way.
No. But writer Mary, I don't know how, Sersch? Sersch. Sersch. She became hysterical while the train's rolling back and forth. She was pretty terrified.
Making everyone laugh.
This is a serious incident.
Oh. Okay.
No time for jokes here.
Hysterical, I know hysterical is like usually a bad thing, but doesn't it make it seem like it's someone laughing and having a good time? Like, they're hysterical. They're laughing.
Yeah. I wonder what the official definition of hysterical is. Like, you're out of control. I don't know.
Deriving from or affected by uncontrolled extreme emotion. So honestly, it could be you were out of control, making everyone laugh, having a good time. I don't think that was the case for this lady.
No, Mary was frightened. How about that? Terrified. But her 19-year-old brother, Clarence, decided he would calm her down.
Uh-oh.
And the way he decided to calm her down was to stand up in his cart.
Oh, no.
I don't know why. But unfortunately, Clarence fell to his death on Peninsula Drive.
Terrible. Why would you share that?
Ravine Flyer.
I'm so bummed out now.
Ravine Flyer flew no more.
Cool.
And was dismantled.
We're canceled. I'm calling it. We don't need anybody else to cancel it. cancel us. I'm canceling us. We're done.
But remember, in the history, 2008, Ravine Flyer 2 opened up. So there's light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, it is unfortunate. Clarence stood up, not sure why, and he fell.
I really want to make a... Wait, no, you've seen it. You've seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Clarence, help me, Clarence.
Yep.
That's what she was saying.
That's probably.
But in this instance, it was Clarence that lost his life instead of George Bailey.
It's an unfortunate event.
It's terrible.
This is an interesting one and a more recent incident. So they have this ride called Chaos, which is like a pendulum frisbee ride. So you're swinging back and forth in a circle. The vehicle's a circle. You're sitting on the edge and it's spinning and swinging back and forth. And this one actually goes all the way upside down. It does a full loop. And on June 28th, 2019, it got stuck at the top for 2 minutes. So they were stuck upside down for 2 minutes. Luckily, nobody was injured, but you got to think blood rushing to your head. You're hoping that the harness will hold on to you. Because in your mind, you're thinking, if it's stuck, what else is going to fail mechanically? And you're thinking of the harness holding you from the ground.
Yeah.
But yeah, fortunately, nobody was injured. The ride reopened the next day, but they made it so it wouldn't go upside down. And after all of this, you want to know what caused it for being stuck?
What?
Some loose wires. Yeah. Reading that doesn't make me feel so safe on some amusement park rides.
I wouldn't.
But they fixed it. And it goes upside down again. So I bet they check those wires often now. All right. Well, that's the history and unfortunate incidents. Let's take a walk through the park. All right, Brandon, we're going to cover 5 of the attractions here. It's tough to choose because there's so many attractions. We only get to pick a few. I noticed somebody on YouTube commented and kind of was bummed out that we didn't cover an attraction on a recent episode. It's tough. We've got to pick and choose. Can't cover everything. But
somebody was paying attention.
Yeah, they also corrected us.
So what happened? Tell me more.
For our carousel review for Frontier City.
Yeah.
I built it up with the music and I said, it's a chance ride or Chance Rides carousel opened in 1998. That's it. He filled me in with more information. So I appreciated that very much so. I unfortunately did not find that information online when I was prepping for the episode.
You dope. This is your job.
I know. So, but an engaged listener, I really appreciate it. So if there's anything you feel like we've missed a big ride, like how could you not cover this ride in this amusement park? Let us know. Yeah. We're going to start with Pirates Cove. This is the Bill Tracy walkthrough that opened in 1972. And I got a really special look at this. And so can you, because there's a wonderful treat on YouTube. You might have heard his name before. We've mentioned him a few times. Jacob the Carpetbagger.
Who's that?
Just some guy. He got a behind the scenes tour of both the Bill Tracy rides, Pirates Cove and Wacky Shack. And so the caretaker took him through. It was really cool. The unique thing about this Bill Tracy dark ride or walkthrough attraction, Funhouse, is that they've tried to keep it as original as possible. So even though it's 52 years old, there are still a bunch of the original paint from when Bill Tracy did it in 1972. There's the original props and stuff. There is a room with mirrors and like jail cells that you have to walk through. And I think if I understood correctly in the video, they had to pretty much block that off because of fire code. Because if there was a fire and you got trapped in there, that'd be an issue. So you just bypass it. You walk right by it. But there was some really cool stuff. There was, of course, you're on a pirate ship and there's a swordfish like busting through the wall and there's water rushing in where the swordfish is. And there's a peg leg pirate trying to fight off the swordfish. And that's all original Bill Tracy. They haven't even touched the paint on it. So really cool history with that walkthrough attraction. And if you're interested in dark rides, walkthrough attractions like that, I highly recommend Jacob the Carpetbagger, his episode on, I think you'll find it by looking at Wacky Shack behind the scenes tour.
You know, you quoted one of the jokes that lives rent free in my head.
What'd I say?
Peg leg.
Oh, what's that from?
Think about that joke a lot. This guy goes to a restaurant.
Hilarious.
I don't remember how the joke goes. Guy goes to this restaurant and his server, I don't even know why it needs to be a restaurant. This guy and girl see each other. Who cares? And she has a wooden eye and he has one leg, a wooden leg. Would I? Yeah, she has a wooden eye. He has a wooden leg. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm really good at telling jokes, setting them up, especially. So they're catching, they're hitting it off, and normally you'd think the guy would be the one to initiate it, but she comes up and she says, "Would you like to go on a date with me?" And he says, "Would I? Would I?" And then she says, peg leg, because he's got a wooden leg. So, anyway, I just butchered that joke so bad, but that's the gist of it. Peg leg. And for some reason, that joke is always in my head.
You're telling me with your talent, you can't get a sketch show?
That's what I'm telling you.
Thank you for sharing your joke.
It's confounding. I have a special talent and it's still untapped and still I gotta find a way to make money on this.
It's simply
I
too
can't
good.
just keep quoting. It's simply too good. I can't just keep quoting sketch shows. I need to make my own.
Well, I'll support you. Not financially though, but
Yeah, I know.
The next attraction, I really didn't want to talk about it too much. It's called Steel Dragon. It's manufactured by Mauer Sony. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And it opened July 2nd, 2004. The reason I wanted to bring this up, it's a spinning coaster. It is identical to the Spider at Lagoon, our home park. It's the exact same layout and everything. Although I don't think they have the world famous "Do not sit on fence" signs.
How can you not?
That's the best part of that, right? Well, that's not the best part, but there is
it is the best part.
How do you describe those fences? The spiked fence.
Something you would not want to sit on, not something you want to get your. Never mind.
Yeah, we don't want to go into details, but you'd be impaled, is what we'll say.
Your butt would look like. I don't know. Just move on.
Anyway, that stood out to me. I was like, hey, I recognize this coaster, and it's because it's the same as the Spider. The next attraction we're talking about is Wacky Shack, which is the other Bill Tracy dark ride that opened in 1970. And according to some people, Jacob, it's one of the best preserved Bill Tracy rides in the country. So Jacob is obsessed with Bill Tracy, and he always points out all of his rides. But a lot of them, we have 2 of them at our park, but they've been altered quite a bit. These 2 have pretty much been untouched, and they're still great. They're still really entertaining. Watching this video of him go behind the scenes through these 2, again, it's nothing special. It's just a dark ride, but it reminded me of why I wanted to do this, which is learning the history behind that kind of stuff. It really fascinates me, and hopefully we can find the audience that enjoys that kind of history as well, because it's a cool history, but
it's make money on it.
It's no like compared to Disney, it's the dumbest dark ride ever, but that's not the comparison. It's more of the history behind it and the cheap gags. Almost always in Bill Tracy's dark rides, there's going to be a honking truck at the end that'll startle you. And also another thing I noticed, the caretaker, he points out this skull that's above this little pool of water and these bats. And he said this is like a signature Bill Tracy prop. He always built these skulls and these bats. And
sure did.
Yeah, I thought about it at our park, Dracula's Castle, identical skull and bats above a pool of water. So it was really cool to see Jacob walk through it. His walkthrough was much better. You watch the video of dark rides, it's so dark you can't see anything, and you don't have a sense of what it's really like. You're like, this is kind of dumb. But there's one room that's like a funhouse style where the room's sideways or it's on a big slant, and you can't even see that in the video, but when Jacob's walking through it, you're like, oh, there's these elements you can't even tell is part of it, but when you're riding it, it makes a big difference. So it's really cool. And another thing is they also had a working spinning tunnel. Theirs is working. Lagoon has a spinning tunnel in Dracula's Castle. That doesn't work. Actually, I think it works and they just don't turn it on. But they have.
Turn it on, you cowards.
I know. I'm so curious why. I wonder if it is a hazard of sticking your arms out or something. Just don't be an idiot. But I mean, this one was just as close to the cart and it was running. So that's it for Wacky Shack. A really cool ride, I think. And Jacob does a good job documenting it in that behind the scenes tour with the caretaker.
We don't have guests on this show. If we ever have the opportunity to have Jacob the carpetbagger on, would we have him on?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, we would.
He has a cameo, and I don't know. I just don't know the appropriate way. And he's very busy because when he's not recording, he's editing and then sleeping. So it'd be very difficult to get him on, but I'd love to have Jacob on. Anyway, moving on, and we are going to cover. No, we're not going to cover. We're going to do our carousel review.
Don't leave anything out this time, Matt.
Yeah, I won't. I put some. Well, actually, the current carousel I couldn't find much of, but here's some deja vu from last week's episode. You want to guess what this carousel is named?
Merry-go-round.
Yeah, you got it. Merry-go-round.
Not merry-go-round, merry-go-round.
Oh, okay. You don't got it. You're wrong then.
I mean, merry-go-round.
Are you ready for the greatest name ever?
Yes.
This is a fun one. Okay, so Waldameer, if you remember in the history, one of the first things they added was a carousel. They had a 1908. Here we go. Here's the fun name. Mueller, Denzel, Stein, and Goldstein Menagerie Carousel.
Gosh. Mueller.
Yeah. That's quite a mouthful. Unfortunately, this carousel was auctioned off in 1988. So 1908, they have this carousel. They auctioned off in 1988. You want to guess how much they auctioned it off for?
$1 million.
Exactly. You got it right.
For real?
Yeah, for real.
I'm on a roll.
Yeah. They auctioned off for $1 million. And part of that money, this actually made me sad. Part of that money paid for 4 water slides. I was like, oh, was it worth it? So I don't know.
For the water slide road trip, the other podcast that competes with us.
Oh, yeah,
it was
those
worth
guys.
it for them. Those guys.
We'll let them cover those 4 stupid water slides.
Yeah. Stupid.
So the current carousel has been operating since 1989, and it's a beautiful chance ride carousel. And yet again, I cannot find any more information on that.
Oh, no. We're going to get in trouble again.
So, well, no, not in trouble. If you know more information about that carousel, shoot us an email at amusementparkroadtrip@gmail.com or comment on this episode on YouTube.
You can also find our phone number in the white pages.
Yes, you can. We are there, Amusement Park Road Trip. So that's it for the carousel. And we're to our last ride, which is Ravine Flyer 2. This is an interesting history with time and money. I think you'll be able to understand the frustration of some fans with when it was announced and when it was open. So it was announced in 1997.
Trigger warning.
It is a trigger warning. It was announced in 1997 and was planned to be completed in 2000 for $3.5 million. They started construction, but it was delayed because of lawsuits. There were these people that said that it was built within a recession. Recession? That's autocorrect. Dang it. What the heck is that word supposed to be?
I mean, it could be a recession.
Oh, it is.
Economy is not doing very well.
It was built within a bluff recession hazard area. I forgot the word bluff.
Oh, so it's not actually the recession. It was built in a bluff recession. Okay.
Yeah, that's what the lawsuit was about. So again, announced in 1997 to be complete in 2000, Waldameer finally won the court case in January 2006. It's a long time. It was also supposed to be built for $3.5 million, which was the most expensive ride they were ever going to put in. It opened on May 17th, 2008 for the cost of $6 million.
11 years later. Oh.
Yeah. That's
that ride. There's no way that ride is as good as the wait.
It's pretty good, actually.
No.
Yeah.
How could it be?
It was awarded Best New Ride by Amusement Today when it opened in 2008. And then it's consistently, like every year, it's in the top 10 wood roller coasters by Amusement Today's Golden Ticket Awards. And it ranked 8th in 2023. So it's really cool. And it famously crosses Peninsula Drive, an active road. So it's a roller coaster that goes over an active road, unfortunately, where Clarence fell. So that's it. Those are the attractions we're covering for the park. A really cool park, I think. One food item I wanted to mention even though we don't have it in our notes, is that but it was clearly on the map. So they've got Dippin' Dots.
Okay.
So I had to mention that for you, Brennan. What one ride would you want to ride?
I don't know. I want to preserve Clarence's memory, and I'll take Wacky Shack because his sister was hysterical. She was, as you would say, wacky.
Oof. That might come back to bite you. You're calling a woman hysterical and wacky.
You called her hysterical.
I know. I was reading the article.
Yeah, you quoted that she was hysterical.
But I did not associate her with being wacky. So I'm just saying, if you run for politics, I'll take this episode down.
Well, it'd be too late. The people would have already captured it.
You're right.
Wacky is actually better than hysterical. So I'm actually painting her in a better light because wacky means funny or amusing in a slightly odd or peculiar way. Okay.
Okay. I'll accept it.
She was being wacky. And some people would say she was hysterical. I would say she's wacky. And yeah, Wacky Shack is it.
That's a good choice. I actually would choose.
You thought I was going to say Ravine because I went that direction. But I actually went back to Wacky Shack, which is the one you really thought I was going to pick for the first place.
Well, I wasn't sure because you knew I would pick Ravine Flyer too, but I didn't. I picked Pirates Cove.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I really want to go through this walkthrough. And I texted you earlier in the week and I said, hot take, walkthrough attractions are better than dark rides.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, you said counterpoint, you're wrong.
I didn't say that.
I know. I wanted to say that to you though.
Yeah, I think the argument could be made, but I still think there's not enough walkthroughs of quality to say that is the case.
You're right, but I do love
walkthroughs. Great, not gonna discount that, but there's not enough. What's that word that scholars use? There's not enough empirical data to suggest. What does that mean? Hold on, empirical data.
Data controlled by the Empire?
Oh yeah. There is not enough empirical data, which is spelled with an E, not with an I. Empirical implies that the information is based on experience and the data is information we gather about something. So thus, the information acquired by scientists through experimentation observation is called empirical data. There is not enough empirical data to suggest that a walkthrough attraction is better than a traditional dark ride.
I'll accept that. I wish there were more walkthrough attractions, though.
Haunted Mansion was almost a walkthrough. And would it have been great? It sure would have. And probably still would have been my favorite ride. And then it would be a walkthrough ride. If that had been the case, I think your case would be stronger. There would be more empirical data to back that claim up.
Does Tom Sawyer's Island, Pirate's Lair at Tom Sawyer Island.
What about it?
That's a walkthrough attraction.
Is it cool though? I've never even been to it.
I love it. It's great. There's some really cool stuff.
Like animatronics and stuff?
Yeah, there's a few things.
No way.
Yeah, there really are.
Dang, dude, I've been sleeping on Tom Sawyer's Island. Well, no, I should be sleeping on Tom Sawyer's Island.
Nobody's there. That's the other amazing part, that nobody's there.
Because you have to wait for the boat.
I bet it's constantly going back and forth. I mean, this was our first time we went to it, and it was great. Anyway, we're getting off track here. We're so close. Let's wrap this episode up.
Okay.
I am not in the mood to do some pitch. So if you want a Magic Candle Company, we have an affiliate link in the description of our episode. I'm just not in the mood to do a pitch.
Okay. This is probably the one time we were going to get people to do it, but we didn't even bother doing a pitch. So be like, screw that. I'm just going to use Dallin's link.
Dallin doesn't have a link. He has a discount code.
Even better.
Even better.
The coveted discount code.
Let's wrap this up. Final thoughts. Would we really want to visit this park?
Sure. I'd do it.
I want to take a trip to Pennsylvania because some of my favorite parks.
Me too.
Knoebels, another free admission park and free parking. Kennywood, Waldameer.
Hershey.
Man, Pennsylvania.
Dude, they are like on another level with amusement parks.
We're going to have to go sometime. So
and they don't even have a Disney park. They've got everything but Disney and Universal. But they just got the parks, man. They just got the parks.
Yeah, they have good parks. Does it have a waterfall in this park? It's an important question we ask every episode. And not that I could see, but there is a cool water feature.
It's got the Bill Tracy waterfall.
Yeah, that that swordfish busting through the wood of the ship. And there's water pouring in. It's actually really cool. A little effect there. So we're going to count that. It's a great water feature. And they have a water park, of course. And they got the log flume. So we'll give it a pass. Any final thoughts? I think I've shared everything I needed to.
Same.
All right. Should
All
we
right.
look behind us and acknowledge the rider in the back seat again?
No.
I'm going to. Hey, rider, thank you for joining us on this road trip. Hopefully we drive home safely now. But if you had a nice time in the back of if you've enjoyed riding in the back of our wagon, join us next week for another road trip to a place that I can't remember right now. But
And my apologies for Matt. He had some Dippin' Dots while we were at the park. And we know he does have a bit of a lactose intolerance. So his toots were pretty disgusting. Sorry about that. Thank goodness we had some of our air fresheners from Magic Candle Company.
There we go. Yeah, you got it. Oh, now we need to redo the artwork and have a little tag hanging in the window
from Magic Candle Company.
Yeah.
You can get all the air fresheners you want to hide your significant other's Dippin' Dot toots by hanging these bad boys in there, and use our affiliate link to get us some money, because we need to go from $17 an hour to $17.50 an hour.
That's right.
That's right.
There's no better way for me to wrap it up. Well done, Brandon. Have a good week, and we will see you next week on another road trip to a mysterious place.
Goodbye.